south through Logres, catching off-guard garrisons, and the city of St. Albans near London they did conquer. Prince Regent Madoc by ailing father's side called muster, yet much of Logres lay ensnared by occupation. The marshlands did bear great raids, Cambrian mountain men's onslaught, losses heavy. Glevum, with heart bereaved, did mourn Duke Eldol's fall. A sundering war brewed. Duke's daughter, Lady Helly of Glevum, and grandson Sir Challens of Clarence poised to clash. Under Earl Roderick's banners, Salisbury, Summerland, Silchester journeyed to muster, ambushed by Eosa on Path's way. Eosa fell, yet reinforcements delayed, crippling their advance. St. Albans, a prize won on a fateful day, the feeble King Uther, Excalibur grasped, rode forth to join his son's battle. Octa's forces faltered, yet a venomous feast poisoned victory's cup. Prince Madoc, felled by Syagrius, echoes of Franklin's past. Lone Duke Ulfius endured, his heir Ufo shouldered the legacy. In Salisbury, the somber cloak of mortality draped itself upon Earl Roderick, as his health dwindled to a whisper, and in passing, his title and domain passed to the hands of fledgling heirs. Yet in the hinterlands of Britain, a change whispered through the woods and fields. The verdant embrace of nature crept forth, reclaiming roads once traversed by foot and hoof, as paths blurred into trails. The realm of Tribuit, a realm oft forgotten, neared oblivion within the embrace of the titanic woodland, the great forest sauvage. And it is told that many a wondrous sight doth greet those who tread through Summerland's domain. Merlin's presence whispered through London's air, a sword encased in stone, spoke of a destined king, a riddle inscribed upon its ancient surface. Cornwall's King Idris stirred, rising an army as Tintagel's fate trembled once more. Shadowy lands of Tintagel, Escavalon, and Gigant held within his gaze. King Uther rests twixt kin Aurelius and Madoc in the giant's dance. Escavalon's Nanteleod brought word of tribute wars in South Cambria. Merchant's tale spoke of Cerdic's yearning. Vortigern's son sought father's mantle. Logres, once a great kingdom, is left to lick its wounds. Hello. Oh, it did not transition as it was supposed to. That was a transition fail. That's okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our next episode. We have two Cerdic appearings in this film, Trent and Scully. Just to note, there's a chance that Trent or that Scully may not be with us long term. Trent is just away for the week, so we will find out. But why don't we go ahead and do some real fast intros, starting with our newest Squire yet to be knighted, Rune.
Yeah, I'm Rune. Like before, straight from Puerto Rico. And really hyped to see what this campaign has, to show.
Awesome. We'll go to Sir Callis next.
Hey guys, Wergar also playing Cercalis. Glad to be back and ready for the next session.
All right, and then next we got Sir Rain.
Hey guys, I'm back again. Looking forward to seeing what kind of trouble we get into.
Probably a
should
lot.
be a good night. Oh, I hope so. I love it. I love problems.
Perfect. We got 99 problems, but a witch ain't one in this game. Let's go ahead and go to Cormac.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll randomly roll and determine. It could be a witch. There's always a witch possibility if you watch the. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to Cormac next. Last but not least.
Well, good evening there. I'm Sir Cormac, and I will be probably the most holy of knights around here. As somebody decides to just start flipping people off.
Now that he thinks he got a fucking message from God on that trip home from
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, of course. All I need is for one chance. And obviously I'm gonna run with it. It's the first time God's ever spoken to me.
Awesome. And that's not what I wanted. I want to show the map so we can get started here. Give me a second. There we go. That's what I need. Okay. You had just gotten access and entry through Glevum. I just want to check in with everybody and see if anyone wanted to do anything inside of Glevum, if we're comfortable continuing on the road.
I'm ready to leave as soon as we get here. Sneak the other guy out, the squire out as soon as we can. Get the two fallen knights back to our homeland.
All right. Any
Unless
opposition to
outside
that
of-
plan? Assuming not, but figured I'd check in anyways.
No, I believe we need to complete this mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cercalis would definitely. I think we spent enough time in the forest and traveling. We should definitely get back to King Nanteleod.
Awesome.
Let him know what's going on.
And it was a Sunday, and we had just got done with mass and got our entry. So
Yeah. So past
or the
Glevum,
equivalent of-
you go. So I think at this point, Gwydir, as you pass past Fort Gwent, and you start to move into the borderlands of Escavalon here. Let's move the map. It's right about here that Gwydir will break off and take the lady to the shore as she asked for, basically as requested by her. Normally I'd be like, hey, let's see what people want to do there, but like we'll let him have his little solo campaign since he's away, and we'll check in on him later. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
So I don't
He
feel like
snuck out while
role-playing
we were
as him.
asleep, and
Yeah. Probably not. It's probably just a matter of, you're back in your homelands close enough. Carlion's just on, or Carline's just on the other side of the river. Like, you're most of the way there. He's gonna have his attempted romantic moment, probably, with the lady. Is that why Cormac's trying to interfere? Yeah.
No, That'd be why Bert wants to interfere.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think that'd be funny. But no, Carmac's not really doesn't really care about that.
Okay. All right. And I think did Yampa just say to be AFK real quick? Just want to check.
Yeah,
About to
looks
ask
like
for-
it.
Like
Okay.
somebody ran in behind him and started flipping off
Okay.
on the camera,
All good. All
and
good.
he immediately got up and started taking
Okay.
care
Good.
of the
Let's
issue.
move on.
So
All good. Let's continue, and we're gonna start with some awareness rolls.
All right.
Awareness roll, Rune, if you can.
Awareness.
I'm quite oblivious. We all are. Only
Not
person
everyone.
paying attention is
Not
Rain.
everyone. Rain's got it.
Yeah, the religious
Right.
knight that isn't overly religious. Yeah.
The non-religious knight who is overly religious versus the religious knight who's not overly religious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so as you go to pass the bridge, Rain, you think you hear something from the like trees along the path. Remember, everything's overgrown at this point. You hear like a whisper. You're not sure what it says. You swear you hear a voice.
Okay. Rain is a little bit on edge after the last encounter we had in the forest. So he is not really wasting any time as he actually grabs his sword and is ready. Or his spear, I guess.
Okay, everyone, you see Rain all of a sudden suddenly reach for his spear.
And he just kind of points towards where he heard the noise from. Because if it's a trap, then might as well just pop it right now.
I'm gonna wheel around. Draw my sword at least.
All right, let me just check something real quick. Okay.
So Ren, what is it you hear?
Voices.
So, just as this happens, you see a javelin come out of the forest, aiming right at Cormac. Cormac, you are going to make a contested roll here against this javelin. Your goal is whatever your sword would be at. You've got a minus. How's this work? Missile weapons are a little different. So, the missile weapon, rather than going against your full thing, it gets to it goes off their attack. So you got a shield. Do you pull your shield out in time, Cormac?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So we're just gonna test against his score then. All right. Oh, I added one too many brackets, but that's okay. So it doesn't bury deep. You probably have your armaments on, given you're riding through the forest, or no?
At least my chainmail.
Yeah. So you only take 3 of the damage as a javelin comes out, and you see a bunch of men leap out from around the bridge. This was an established ambush, and you find you're basically fighting 2-1 against these raiders. Every one of you immediately identifies them as Irish raiders, Irish currents.
To arms!
All right, let's go ahead and get this done here.
And that's all he would out with that. 'Cause no more time.
All right. So obviously the worst thing for this situation, we're gonna give Rune. I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Rune is not in armor and stuff, so we're gonna give him one opponent to deal with. Everyone else is 2-1 as we go into this nasty bit here.
What's the terrain like right now? It's near a bridge. Is it heavily forested or just overgrown, or is it going to cause problems for our horses?
No, not particularly.
Okay.
You can charge in if you want to. Actually, it's probably too difficult to charge, but you can ride in and attack with a weapon. You're just not going to get horse bonus damage to that, if that
Right.
makes sense. But you can get in there and attack clearly enough. Just adding a song here. All right. So we're gonna go to. This is not an initiative type game. Basically, you guys get to decide what you're dealing with here. I'll tell you what each of your opponents has. Give me 1 sec to pull up the Irish table. I want to make sure we get this right. Book of Battle, maybe. Okay. So this is a raiding force. They all have small shields, no armor, and they have a javelin in one hand and a knife in the other. Other than the one that just threw his javelin, he does not have anything other than the knife. And they are capable of using both. So what you guys know is it's likely a bad idea to try to split all your attacks or all your focus across multiple things when you're this new of a character. I would recommend, given how low the damage is on most of these things, I would focus in on one target typically, and one particular thing that you want to contest. So you can contest their knife attacks if you want. You can come up and slash them. You can't really contest their javelin fires anyways. So, right, those just happen. So, let's start with the 3 javelin fires here. We just pulled up that roll I did before. D20 verse 13. So this next attack will be at Drax. Miss. Next one at Wergar. Hits. Not enough to breach your chainmail though. Next one's at Rune. This is a scary one for Rune, alright? If this lands, that's bad. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong roll. Misses.
Good.
Misses. Just it was this close to a crit though, so we're gonna say it like just whizzes by your head. And then incoming the remaining 2 more. So because they said 2 each, right? So next one's at Cormac. Cormac, you got another hit on you.
Yep.
We'll see about
See that?
Rain. Rain, you got a hit on you. And Callus, you got a hit on you. Now let's see if they actually do any damage. Cormac, not enough to breach your chain. Rain, you take 1 damage. Callus, you take your chain absorbs the damage. This is why being a knight is really useful. And armor isn't just like AC and D&D, it actually takes away from the damage. So you're in good spots. Now you gotta pick targets here. You have most of them like not visible. Most of them are in the trees, the forest. A couple of them are coming up from the actual, like hiding underneath the bridge, like just off the side of the bridge. They're kind of coming up footpaths along the bridge. And we'll say that each of you is targeted by one by the bridge and one by the forest. So you have to, like, that's the scenario. For Rune, his came from the forest. You do have spears because you're a squire. You do not have your sword with you, good sir. Because your sword is something you're gifted upon your...
Gotcha.
You own a sword, but it would be something you'd receive upon knighting. So, how do we want to do this? Let's start with people that are familiar with the game. So we're gonna go in reverse order. We're gonna go with Bert. What do you want to do about this?
Sir Cormac can fight, but he's not really the type to fight seriously until it's like actually life or death. So at this point, I think he'd be very defensive in what he's doing. He wasn't able to get to his shield in time, but he's got enough skill with the sword that he should be able to handle himself a little bit while he gets his shield. So he'll be going full defensive on this.
Okay, so full defense in this game is you're still contesting against someone just like you're attacking them, but then you get a +10 to your skill.
Yeah.
And then if you hit, you do no damage. That's kind of how it works. So are you going at the one in the forest, or the one defensive against the one in the forest, or the one in the other one?
I'm going towards the one at the bridge. If
Okay.
they try to cut off the bridge from us, I want to make sure that I can clear a path for people.
All right, so let's contest first the one at the bridge's knife, first and foremost.
All right.
He succeeds, but you succeed better. So you can give me, or actually you do no damage, but
I do no damage.
Tries to slash at you with a knife and is not successful.
I've got a sword. I've got better reach. And I'm on horseback. Means he took a -5. I got a +5.
Yeah, that's true. Still wouldn't have changed anything in that roll. We go next to Drax, Sir Rain.
So Rain, seeing that Sir Cormac is kind of playing it defensive and being ready to protect the bridge side, he will actually take his horse towards whoever has a javelin left in the forest.
Okay. It looks like the ones in the forest can resupply with the javelin. Like they have javelins that they can more than one that they carry, right? So they can rearm for the next round.
Right.
So you can go at the one that targeted you in the forest if you want.
Whichever one went after Rune.
Oh, after Rune. Okay. That one we established. Okay. Go ahead and...
yeah, that's right. He was up by the bridge side, or was he forest
No,
side?
he was in the forest. You got it right.
Okay.
So
yeah.
go ahead and make your attack here against him.
All right. And that's going to be at a +5. And then I'm going to have to go AFK for a few minutes because I have to go check on my mother. Just had
Understood.
some incident stuff, so.
Okay, no worries. Let's make a note of that.
And damage would be +2 to whatever's rolled. I'll be
He'll
back.
actually succeed on you, Drax. So,
Oh,
but you end up negating it with your. Assuming you got your shield out now.
I do. Yeah.
So
All right. I'll be
you
back.
negate the damage.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Are we still doing checks if we don't have... So you said last game that if you didn't have more than 10 in a skill,
More than 5.
give yourself a check. 5?
More
Okay.
than
never mind.
5. Yeah.
All right. I thought you said
5 or
10.
5 or less, you get an automatic check. Yeah. If you do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Automatic if you succeed, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go to our new players now. We'll go with Sir Callus next. Callus, you you would have a heck of a time splitting your attack, and it probably wouldn't be wise, but you probably want to take one of these suckers down. Do you want to attack the guy at the bridge or the guy at the tree line?
After seeing Sir Rain go after one in the fours, I think Sir Carlos would probably go for the one closest to the bridge.
Okay. Go ahead and give me either sword or your spear attack, whatever you're using as a weapon.
I think Sir Carlos probably would have grabbed the spear, the Kimrick spear, or just a spear.
Either or. Kimrick spear applies to all of them. So any lance, spear, anything that's called a spear, great spear, it's all at Kimrick. It's all spear expertise. So you can roll. Okay. You should have the same score in both.
All right. And then they were adding a +5. Is that from being on horseback?
Yes, because they're not mounted.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Drax would have actually been successful because they would add a -5. I shouldn't. So remind me of that when Drax is back. All right, okay. You succeed greater than they did. So what happens here is it means if you both succeed, you and them succeed. It's the higher success number, and then the lower success number doesn't get any damage on you, but they do get to apply their shield if they have one. So they do have small shields. So now you roll damage, and you want to score higher than their armor, effectively. They're not wearing armor; all they have is a shield of 4. So you want to click your damage button.
Yep.
19 minus 4. You hurt him pretty good. See if he stays up. He does stay up though. So you cut into him. He looks like he's quite harmed from that. But he kind of staggers and grimaces and gets ready to come at you again. That brings us to Rune. Rune, you are without a shield and without... probably... We'll spare you. We'll say you have armor on. Let's say you have what would be the equivalent of like... It's an armor 8 is what you have, not the full armor 10. So you'll get your chainmail as part of becoming knighted as well. Also, this little skirmish might help you become knighted, because that's still undetermined from your character storyline perspective. Who do you want to target?
I'd say that the Rune would be pretty pissed off that he got a javelin thrown at him. Mm-hmm. And seeing as Rain went for the one that threw this, javelin at him, I think that he would. Well, I mean, there's also family. Should I roll like a family test against, like between fighting the one that Kaolus is fighting and the one that Rain is fighting?
I think tests are always interesting, but I didn't call for it, so I think it's up to you at this point. I could see why your character might choose one or the other. If you're uncertain, you can always test them against each other.
Yeah. Well, to keep it simple, I think he'd go for the one that threw his javelin at him, aka the one that's fighting Rain. So I'll go for him.
All right, let's see it.
We're looking for a spear test.
Yes, indeed.
You want me to add the +5 because I'm on horseback?
Yes. Yeah, you do get that. Yep. There you go. And they fail because of the -5 they get. So you deal damage. So roll me your damage.
I'm rolling my damage.
18. Huh? So that's 18 without any success on their part. So let me just test something. They fall down. Not dead, but they do fall down injured. I think that brings us back to the top of the round, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So each of you chose one opponent. The opponent that you're furthest away, you know how we're doing 2, 2, 2, and 1. The opponent that's farthest away from you is still gonna try and javelin you, right? So Bert, you got a javelin coming your way.
Alright.
And what was their skill again? 12. It's not 15, so it does a wee bit. Do you have your shield now?
Yes.
Okay, they still would have succeeded because what happens is 12 minus 6. They would have got a 4 versus 6. Missile weapons aren't contested. They take your shield off of the attack first. That's kind of how it works. So you do end up taking 5 damage from that javelin. Next one is coming at Drax. That one misses. Next one's coming at Callus. Misses. Next one. I don't think there's anyone to go after Rune. So, yep.
What a shot.
For javelin wise. So now we get into the knife round. So, all of you were meleeing against someone with a knife. Why don't you all roll your attacks for me, and I'll just queue up the knife responses to each of you.
Okay, when you say attack, that would be
Your spear.
spear. So roll spear again.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're gonna attack the same people if they're not downed. Is that fair? Or shooting
Yes.
targets if they're not dead.
Yeah, I would go for the same one. Do I add still the +5 for it?
Yep. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Alright.
Nice.
I am still defensive.
Did you add your +15 to that,
Yes.
Bert? Okay.
Yes, I did.
Jeez. Okay. Let's check. Just Cormac. So Cormac gets missed. For Rune, they succeed, but they succeed lower than you, so they get to apply their shield to this. Go ahead and roll your damage, everybody, because you all hit. Robert, obviously. Bert, you don't have to bother. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Rune, you stick your spear deep in your opponent who's like staggered and stumbled, and he kind of just pitches over now, either unconscious or probably unconscious and dying, not quite dead, but definitely going for Callus. Your opponent has died. You run him through. Was it a spear for Callus?
Yes.
Why don't you describe how you finish him off?
Alright. I would assume that he'd be doing some type of stabbing attack, but I was able to either maneuver my shield in the way, and as he's kind of dumbfounded on the next attack that he's going to take, I think I would have lifted up in the saddle and a downward spear stroke that would have taken him like right between his shoulder and his neck, so right in that area.
Okay. Awesome. And I think for Cormac, you continue to fight defensively against your opponent. Your opponent swings, and you continue to parry and block it with your shield.
Yep.
You see Rain fighting his opponent. I don't remember if Rain was using a sword or a spear, but the same skill level. Let me just check. Rain is using a spear, so Rain gets his opponent down, and same thing, kind of sticks him once, and the opponent stops moving. I think seeing this, the raiders are down to what, like 3 left. They're gonna start turning to try and run. What do you guys want to do as the raiders try to leave the scene?
Carlos is very valorous and prideful. I think he would probably try to go after him.
Okay.
Well, Rune is valorous as well, but he's modest. But his love for family outweighs the. It's the same. I think he would have gone like, okay, the fight is done, but I see my cousin going for it, so I guess I will follow.
You'll follow. Okay, makes sense.
Yep.
What about Cormac?
Well, Cormac certainly doesn't want to leave any of his fellows trying to fight off any more than they can chew. This could all be a ruse. We all know that, you know, that these Irish over here just aren't as hardy as I am, let alone what the rest of Escavalon. They might be setting up some sort of ambush, so I'm gonna have to, you know, cover down on them, make sure that Sir Callus and Rune don't go biting off more than they can chew.
Okay, so you're gonna travel with them. Why don't we? I think as we note, you guys as knights against these Irish currents are they're not gonna keep up with you. So why don't we simply do just one kind of horsemanship and one weapon roll each with those bonuses you had before. So you get the +5 to your attack. If everyone doesn't fumble on the attack and doesn't fumble on the horsemanship, we're gonna say you route the last few.
And the horsemanship is the flat skill, correct?
Yes, that one's flat. Yeah.
Okay.
Failure's not a big deal. Fumble's a big deal though.
So horsemanship. Let's see. Oh.
Fumbles or failure's not a big deal for horsemanship. Doesn't mean you drop off your horse. Just means you're having trouble navigating the forest. And then an attack roll for each of you.
Our attack roll is damage, right?
No, you're using your weapon skill, so spear expertise or sword. I guess spear expertise for you for now.
We adding the 5 because I'm on horseback, right?
Yep. You absolutely get that.
Is there a way to knock somebody down without killing them?
You can pull an attack.
How does that one work?
I just had this down because it's rebaited and there's attacks. I'm just trying to see what it is. You just have to declare it ahead of time, and you do less damage, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my attack then.
It does half damage if you declare it. So,
alright.
So if you crit, you don't get the crit effect automatically. Which you did, so very lucky that you did that. So just give me your straight damage then. Actually, technically, you should roll a full crit, and then we should half that.
So add an extra 5d6 to it.
4d6 is a crit in this edition now. It's not double; it's just always a 4d6. We're using 6th edition Pendragon critical rules. Okay. 36 divided by 2. That's much more reasonable. So he's wounded to the point where you could probably get him to surrender, but you'd have to offer him the... you'd have to give him the chance to yield.
Yield now. Surrender. Surrender now and you may still live.
All right, we're dealing with an Irishman. I'm gonna give this guy a 15 reckless.
But he's being asked to surrender by another Irishman.
It's true. I will give him a -2 for that reason. 13 reckless. Okay, he fails his reckless, so he surrenders. You guys have routed the enemy. Or, I don't know, enemy might be a strong word. You've routed raiders. And you're able to return home from there. Anything in specific that any of you wanted to do before we continue forward?
He surrendered. Do we really want to take him prisoner?
Uh,
I don't feel right killing him in cold blood like this.
Carlos will nod his head. He did surrender. I guess we could take him.
We might as well. Let the king determine what his fate shall be.
you might have useful information.
Maybe. So I'll hop down off my horse and go ahead and tie him up and sort of walk him along behind me.
All right. All right, so we're going to give you guys a little bit of chance to stretch your legs and get in character. Is there anything you want to talk about as a group? If not, we're going to go into some vignettes for your characters and give you a few minutes to be your characters before we go to Christmas feast. We're going to skip some time.
Did the boy come with us, or did
He
the
did.
boy go with? Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
boy
That
came with you
probably
guys.
wasn't on horseback at all.
That's correct. Yeah, he's been trailing behind. Actually, he's in the wagon probably with the guy you were hiding.
Okay.
He's probably right. He's probably steering the wagon that you guys were hiding.
Okay.
Because you had the merchant with you too, didn't you?
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
So he's
Yep.
probably riding with the merchant. So for all intents and purposes, at this point, I'd be talking with the boy.
Okay, we
Maybe
can do that.
playing a couple of, maybe playing a game with him or something. Something easy and light to pass the time.
Yeah, I just want to check in. Do we want to do a group scene here together, or do we want to move right to the vignettes?
Could do
I'm
a
good to do a
scene.
group scene.
Okay, cool. We're down Drax too. I apologize. So
We still are.
And this is right after the battle, correct?
it can be like half hour after everything's resolved. Something like that.
Okay.
Is everybody all right?
Yeah. Fuck. I wish I'd had my shield with me.
Mr. Carlos will look at himself and not see any wounds. I think I'm good after that battle. They didn't get a scratch on me.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a battle now. But yeah, I took a. These Irish seem to have a bit of a grudge against me. Don't. It's kind of heartening that they specifically went after me so hard.
Is it?
Did they score a hit on you?
Oh yeah. And I'll go ahead and show like some of the blood leaking from like my arm and my side. Not much. It's barely leaking, but it's there.
Well, good thing we're close to the city. We can get that patched up.
Rune, how are you doing? You're
I'm.
not wearing much for armor.
I just have to thank God that I didn't get hit, and I went through the whole ordeal unscathed.
Praise be his name.
Praise be.
You know what? Since you don't have your shield, you can go ahead and hold on to mine. Hopefully, you won't have to use it.
Hopefully, shouldn't have the need. Hopefully, if perhaps I get knighted, and, but
Well, at that point, you can just give me my shield back.
very true. I thank you, Cormac.
Sir Carlos will say, "Yes, we can thank the gods, but also we can thank our valor in arms that we didn't get severely hurt."
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Not wrong at all.
Let's go ahead and move forward. I think that's a good place to shift to the next bit. I'm going to check in again. Maybe we're going to start with Kalis. Is there anyone you want to check in with when you're back in Escavalon? Like, what is your... Actually, you probably all want to check in with the king, right? That's probably the next
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
Let's start there. Let's do that scene. A lot of you find yourselves presenting to the king in his court. Aside from King Nanteleod, a couple of his men are there. I'm just getting to the right scene here. Give me a sec. So present we have... Let me find the tokens for this. We have King Nanteleod, which doesn't work. Awesome. The tokens aren't set up. We have King Nanteleod. We have Sir Cerdic, which is the seneschal, and we have Sir Elaine. You can see them in the Discord for those that care, and I'll show you who they are actually in the Roll20. Just ignore the feast roll stuff for now.
And I'm back.
So King Nanteleod, Sir Cerdic, and Sir Elaine. Those are the three that are present for this conversation. For Drax, you were able to rout the Irish Kerns, and now you're back in front of Nanteleod, back in Escavalon.
Okay, I don't see any. There it is. It's up there. I got it.
I bring the bound prisoner before the king.
Okay.
My lord.
Nanteleod looks confused. Says, and this is...
One of the raiders that were so bold as to accost us on our way back from our journey.
in our lands.
The Irish seems to have in our lands, barely a stone's throw from the city.
Well, very well. See to it that he's hanged.
Aye, my lord.
Rune, I see you've returned.
Rain or Rune?
Rune,
Hey,
are you present?
I have. Yes, I am.
I imagine there was a good reason why you were not at your ceremony.
There was, my king. I was barred access in Glevum.
He sounds really annoyed about that.
If it was not for that, I would have been here with my comrades and my cousin.
Well, welcome back. We'll see to it that you're knighted. I have no doubt that you are ready.
I thank you, my lord.
The situation in Glevum and Clarence, Duke Eldol's heirs. What is your sense? I think you're closer to it than anyone I'm familiar with.
Well, my lord, if you would permit me to be candid,
I'd ask nothing else.
they are both horrible rulers. But if it was up to me, I would throw my stone in with the knights that I squired under, Kalain.
And what is it about him that would make you do so?
Duty.
Aside from service to him.
Aside from my service, well, I have to follow the law of succession.
Ah. So you do not believe the rumors that he is a bastard, then?
I do not. And as my permission to be candid was given, it would perhaps tarnish my own renown.
I see. Sir Callis, Rain, Cormac, welcome back. I see Gwydir's not with you.
Sir Carlos say,
My cousin found an interesting issue arise on our way back. And as such, he is checking in on that to make sure that nothing untoward goes wrong with it.
I see. As for the mission,
Sir Carlos will step forward. My king, after we left, we noticed that the roads that were once clear of debris and such have now become overgrown in less than a season, which is one is odd, and two, once we enter the forest north of here, where you said the knight that we were looking for disappeared, we the forest I don't know how to say it, my liege, but is odd of sorts, and we lost our way for a day or so. But we were able to find the knight that we were looking for, and I must say that he perished in a fight with another knight, it seems. And then I'm trying to find that.
Sir Olandis
Yeah.
came to the rescue of two individuals, and because of that, perished. The knight that quarreled with Sir Olandis was Sir Galdric.
he stops. There's a look of regret or sadness, I guess a little bit of mourning for Orlandis, as it's mentioned that he's passed. But when there's mention of Sir Galdric, there's a look of surprise, and the king simply turns and says, Galdric's alive, or was alive? He's been found?
He has been found slain by Sir Orlandus' sword.
For what reason did the two quarrel?
Sir Galdric apparently had taken a woman and a young boy prisoner. The boy we brought back with us, Sir Gwydir is escorting the lady back to her home.
Rain speaks up at that point. My king, we brought both Sir Orlandus and Sir Godric back for proper burials, as that is what is best, even given the reputation of Sir Galdric.
You did well.
There's only one last thing I'd like to call your attention to, my liege.
That being?
The boy. And with that, is the young boy here?
He is, if you want him to be.
Cool.
He is
I did want him to
kind of
be.
under your charge right now, so. Yep.
I bring the boy forward. And I take a knee like next to the boy so that I'm eye level with him. Now don't be scared, lad. King Nanteleod is a just and honorable man, a good man. Show him the ring that you showed us.
I need to update that picture. I realize how old this kid looks. He's not supposed to look quite that old.
He looks, about the age of a squire.
Yeah, he's not that old yet. He's supposed to be a bit younger than that, right? So
yeah.
He looks somewhere between the age of basically just short of being a tween, somewhere in there. So
I figured he was about 9 or 10.
Yeah. He comes forward hesitantly and shows the ring. Nanteleod is famously suspicious, and he raises an eyebrow. You would lead me to believe that this is some kin of mine by this ring? Kin I am unaware of.
The body we found that the boy claims was his mother was... The elements had taken her, my lord. We could not bring back a proper recounting. True, all we have to go on is the signet ring.
Is this true, boy? He says, looking at him very suspiciously. Like, imagine if someone's like, hey, by the way, I'm your relative that you didn't know. He's got that kind of vibe to him. And the boy almost shrugs and says, the ring is mine. And my mother has passed, and what they tell you is the truth as we know it. I don't have anything beyond that. I'm sorry, my king. I'm going to test and see how the king's if the king feels any mercy for him in this moment, right? In his situation, rather than just assuming it. Let's see. Let's see. He is merciful 13. Let's see. Oh, the hell?
D200 versus...
Yeah.
He's definitely not, no.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely not.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
he's definitely not.
Yeah.
So in this
R.I.P.
particular moment, I guess that part proved to be true. The original comment. I think I don't know if you. Now we've established Nanteleod is someone worthy of following for the following reasons. If you care about honor, he is famously honorable. He is famously loyal to his vassals. He is an incredible strategist, and he is an excellent fighter with a sword and a lance. But he is also famously suspicious, and that's playing out here in his cruel response. He says, "If you are my kin, you're likely a bastard, someone's public mistake. But they aim to be private. You may live here, but you are not acknowledged by me as family. Do you have a name?" The boy's like, I don't remember my... And he stops him. He raises his hand. This is unusual behavior for Nanteleod. I just want to establish, like, this, you all know him well enough. Well, maybe not. Maybe not Rune. Everyone else has been around him recently. This is unusual behavior for the king, and he's very short with him, and he just says, "Of course you don't." Like, in response to him not knowing his name, he says, "Well then, I task you find knights. Please find a name for the boy, and one of you may take him as your charge if you wish."
Rain just kind of looks over at Sir Cormac since he said the.
Cormac stands up, proud and tall. He's not normally this sort of proud, especially before the king. But he goes, "Aye, my lord, I shall take responsibility for the young lad."
He nods. I
Come on
think
over.
even though he's cold in his response, like, he's not gonna let the kid, like, rot. You know what I mean? He wants to make sure he's with someone, like, that's gonna, I guess, do the duty, like, you know, make sure he's not in a ditch in a week or something like that. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Which I'm establishing, like, he's not, his response isn't so cold where he's like, you know, "I hope you die." It's just like, this
He's
is
not
beyond
taking
my
responsibility for it.
yeah. And there's something there. I'll have to think more, because that fumble means there's something big there, I think.
But yeah, I'll take care of him, my lord. Lad, come back over.
He comes your way.
And I just kind of symbolically, it's more along the lines that I like take him under my wing, but like physically, I kind of I've got him, and I sort of give that reassurance. Yeah, I've got you, sort of thing.
He seems
Like-
relieved because he's not even really sure, like, who he is.
Who he is.
Yeah, so he
So-
seems pretty happy to have someone, like, vouching for him. So, okay. With that, he looks around the room until he does and says, "Is there any other business that we ought to discuss urgently?"
Well, let's see. We have Gork and Orlandis. Oh, there was one more thing. It is quite queer, but the lady that Sir Gwydir is escorting back home, she seemed to be from the area of the Forest Savage. Yet when we found her, we were quite clearly in the Dean Forest.
It was
And when we exited the forest, we were exiting out of the forest that was neither, on the other side of Glevin.
it was a very strange situation, all told.
I'm gonna test his worldly. You know what? I'm gonna test his. Yeah, his worldly. He's like some sort of druid tricks, I'd imagine. Sounds like one of Merlin's games, if I believe the stories.
I have never encountered such a thing. And like I said, it was actually quite queer.
You all have seen this? Perhaps we must investigate the forest further in the future to understand if there is some kind of path that we are unaware of between the Forest Dean and the forest. As I've heard from... And he looks over to Elaine, and Elaine nods and says, some of my contacts from Logris on my return back last year spoke of a forest over the land of Tribuit. They called it the Forest Sauvage. You said you exited from it. Were you in Logris?
We did exit in Logris,
Indeed.
on the other side of Glevin.
How odd. I don't think they
Yes, my
know
lord.
what to say in return to that. Like, they're just like, that's weird.
Yeah, that's basically.
Yeah.
I didn't disagree, my lord.
How so?
No, I didn't disagree at all.
You didn't. Okay.
I agree
Sorry.
wholeheartedly.
That was Bob mishearing you. Okay. It's all good.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anything else anyone want to do with that bit before we close out that scene?
No, that's good for Rain.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
All right. So with the completion of that mission, let's go ahead and give you each another 30 glory for that.
All right. Are we also giving it to Gwydia?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's give everybody 30 glory.
Okay. And then we're going to do some quick vignettes or check-ins, at least, with people. My thought behind this is to give y'all a chance to like do something that's not based entirely around the king. Maybe something to do with your family or something you want to check in with while you're here. For Rune, maybe we should do your knighting piece. Maybe that would be interesting for your vignette. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, sounds perfect to me.
Okay. All right. We'll do that last out of the four, and then we'll move into the Christmas feast and close out the year 496. All of you learn that the Irish scenario was not unique to you guys. In fact, it was like this apparently across Escavalon. So there were Irish raiders that sailed all along the shore and assaulted Cardiff, Kyndon, all the way, basically stopping short of Carlisle, but all along this shore. And apparently it's not just this part of Gales, it's Gomerett, like the whole island's getting plagued with Irish raiders. The only ones that seem safe are those in castles in Estragales. That's the going rumor. And with that, we're gonna zoom in on Cormac. Do you know what you want to do for your vignette?
My vignette would probably be like introducing the boy to the rest of the family as I bring him in and sort of make him family now.
Are you gonna give him a name?
I'm gonna discuss a name with him.
Okay.
See what he likes and
Okay, let's do that bit now. So who do we have from your family that we can go over here?
well, we have at least we should still have my sister.
Mhm.
Um I've still got the older sister Mary, although she's probably married off by now.
Uh,
Um
you typically would roll to see if they're married. Do you want to see if that happened?
Sure.
Did
Let's
you
see if
roll?
she's actually married.
Okay. Let's find out if she's married and living. Those are two different things in
Oh
Pendragon.
god.
Yeah.
Alright, D20s.
D20 at first. Yep. 9. Alive and unmarried.
Oh.
So,
Well then.
yeah.
My older sister is sort of a spinster.
Yeah.
And then I have my mother Rion.
Okay. Mary and Rian. Not to be confused with Rain. If you spell it slightly different, it becomes the same thing. So, gotta love these themes. At this point, we'll say, do you guys, your father was not landed though, correct?
No, my father was a household knight.
Okay. Yep. So you are in Carline for this. You would have quarters more than your own manor, right?
Yeah.
And we'll say that maybe this is in the courtyard of Carline that you're treating with your family, since you don't have a manor of your own.
Well, lad. It appears we need to come up with a name for you. So what are you thinking for a name?
I don't remember my name.
I understand that. But, you know, people need to be able to call you something. Something more than lad, boy, or something like that. You obviously have the upbringing of nobility, at the very least. So
He
you should
seems
probably
really
have a name.
he seems really timid, and he's like, do you have a suggestion?
I've got plenty of suggestions.
Are you trying to put like eke something out of him?
I was,
Okay.
but if he doesn't come up with anything,
Give me an
what I'm
intrigue test. You can add +5 because he's easy to read.
all right. Ooh,
Love it. Yeah.
yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
That is not my forte.
He just seems especially timid. Yeah. He says nothing in turn.
Well then, lad, you seem to have an air of timidity about you, and I admit, I've had issues with that myself. But I'll tell you something. My older brother never had that issue. Maybe Finnegan would suit you. Taking the name of a brave man may help you to develop more of that bravery. Is that something that you'd like?
I think you sold it well enough to him. He'll nod. I would like to be brave. Yes.
Well,
I
then,
think. Yeah, I think your mom, and your sister are around, and they find that touching too, because it was your brother who passed in the accident of your sparring. Now, does this at all resolve anything for Cormac? In the sense that, do we need to test something here to see if you feel absolved a bit of the guilt, like this is honoring your brother?
I do feel as though it's honoring my brother, but I don't know if there's anything to truly resolve off of it, because it's
Okay,
not like I have a directed trait about it.
that's true. You don't have a
Like,
guilt-related thing, right? So,
no, I play up the guilt. I don't have any real
okay.
mechanical guilt.
Okay. Just checking in there. And I think with that, Bert, just to keep these vignettes pretty short, are you cool with that being a cut scene for the next one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to go to Drax next. Is there anyone you want to check in with Rain in these moments over the next little bit?
Did we figure out what was going to happen to Sir Orlandus since we brought him back? Did the king mention like returning the body or anything, or? If not,
Right, because you brought it back here, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's an actual scheduled ceremony that everyone can attend.
Okay. Then.
Do you want to zoom in on something there? Like, take a look at what Rain's doing during the ceremony?
Yeah, I think my character would attend that, and I mean his uncle's who he serves under, so that'd be up to them too. So
right, so you are a bachelor knight, but not directly of Nanteleod?
That's what we discussed, I believe, in the DMs when we were doing creation. Yeah, my uncle's the vassal knight because he's the only surviving sibling of my father.
Right, so you're acting in your uncle's proxy, right? On behalf of your uncle.
Right, and then I got two younger cousins that aren't knights yet, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of Escavalon will turn out for Orlandus's, because he was a royal position, like the entire... I imagine, like, Callus and Rune, you guys are probably present, so Kim and Cormac.
Yes.
But we'll give Rain this moment. Is there anything you want to do or say here?
Not particularly. He's just kind of being the good knight, and he brought him back, him and his comrades, so he just wanted to be present to make sure the guy got, put to rest, the right way. Nothing unusual. That's just him. He's not one that goes out of his way either way. That kind of stuff.
All right. I think if that's the scene you're zeroing in on, why don't you test just for me? Let's see if you get a sense of justice out of this. Like, this is his killer's been
brought to justice.
His body's been returned, and
base, no modifiers or anything.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, no. He doesn't think it was enough.
No. So you're maybe left with this feeling of, and I won't make you check against that because I don't think that's reasonable. I think you're just left with this sense of, like, what a pointless death for him to die.
What a waste. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I could see that because that's pretty much the way Rain was thinking about it.
Yeah. Cool. We're gonna go to Callus next. Do you have anything you want to check in with in particular?
I think Cercalis would probably, after the audience with King Nanteleod, and he told us to make sure that Irish Raider got hanged. I think Cercalis would probably make sure he saw to that everything went well. Like he got the Raider to, I guess, the prison tower, and made sure like he oversaw, like make sure everything was okay, and he got the person to the hanging.
Okay. Why don't you? I'm going to give you the same just test. I think for that. See if you get a sense of justice for this being brought to its end.
Just
You do. You can tick just.
nice.
So there's a sense of like, he's a bit of a mess. The Irish Kern is kind of a bit of a weeping guy at first, but by the time it gets to his actual execution, he gives you a look and almost like a respectful nod because you treated him well and like, or respectfully, not well would be the wrong word, but respectfully.
Before he's hanged, Cercalis would give him any last words or grievances you wish to, any grievances you wish to voice now, or any last words.
Interesting. I think what he says in turn is effectively, he says, "Word of caution to you, young lad. Live your life for you, not for some king." And then with that, he's hanged. And we go into Rune's knighting, which will convert him to Sir Rune. It's your first time playing Pendragon. It's an important part of Pendragon. We'll do the ceremony. You'll be knighted by Nanteleod.
Dope.
And you'll be joining his. And do you wish to do you wish to join Nanteleod after, or do you wish to join your brother that's sworn to Nanteleod, like your kin house, like Drax is an example of that.
I mean, he's famously like loves his family. I think. Let me see here. What the hell? What happened to my sheet?
If it's weird and you can't click on it, you can always refresh your browser and that will fix it.
Yeah, I'm just like thinking.
Do you want to
He's
test
not-
your love versus your loyalty, Lord?
Yeah, my love is just slightly higher. How would I go about that? To just roll both?
You roll both, and then the higher success, if both succeed, or just the success of one succeeds.
Gotcha. Let me roll love family and then that.
Ooh.
No, I would go to my family. That's where it is.
All right. Let me just pull that open real quick.
Yep.
All right. Nanteleod says, We cut into the scene. This is done in his throne room. He says, his herald versus Rune, come forth and kneel before the throne.
He does so.
All right. And then he says, be it known to all men that I, and I haven't named the herald, so let's name the herald here and give him a name. I, Bledin, am minded to raise Rune by virtue of his honor, loyalty, valor, and skill at arms to the high rank of knighthood. And then he wouldn't say I, he would have said King Nanteleod. Then he, like, it's King Nanteleod's position now. King Nanteleod says, Rune, do you swear and acknowledge myself to be your true and lawful liege?
I do so swear.
He rises and he goes towards you slowly. A look of a confident and regal man. Let this be the last blow you receive without just recourse. He smacks you hard across the face. It stings like a son of a bitch as he does so. Let's see how hard he strikes you. So this isn't damage, this is a -2 modifier. So you're gonna roll your dex -2.
Dex -2. Just gonna roll it.
Manage to stay on your feet. You're not sent reeling onto the ground.
Now he has to hit you harder. Always fall for the king. Always. Sorry.
You know then it's your time to kneel before the liege now that that's happened. And you put your hands palm to palm and upraised. He places his hands over the knights. Repeat after me. I, Rune, do solemnly swear and pledge my sword to King Nanteleod.
Do solemnly swear and pledge my sword to King Nanteleod.
My liege.
My liege.
To defend and obey him.
To defend and obey him.
Until he departs his demesnes.
Till he departs his demesnes.
Or death shall take me.
Or death shall take me.
And to uphold honor of knighthood.
And to uphold honor of knighthood.
He nods. And I, for my part, do swear to defend and honor Sir Rune, as befits a true knight. Servants come over, probably family members actually. So like this could be like your proud brother coming over, and you are given your sword. Or rather, you're not given your sword. Nanteleod's given your sword. He takes your sword, and he gives you light taps on both shoulders. He says, I dub thee Sir Rune. Receive now your spurs. And then another family member comes over with your spurs for your horse. Your right to suitable arms. Another comes over with your shield. And take this, my sword. And it's your sword that he returns to you. Take these things to serve you and defend me as well. Arise, Sir Knight.
And he rises.
All right. Do any of you want to be in the crowd? I imagine Collis is maybe even part of the ceremony. Does that make sense?
I'm definitely in the crowd. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, we're buddies. We're homies.
We've been friends forever. There's no way I'd miss this.
Sir Rain would have attended as well.
Yeah, I think Sir Collis probably would have tried to be in the ceremony and at least given him his spurs.
Right? You'd go to him, pick the one thing that you feel like you gave him a hard time about when you were younger or whatever. It's like, here's your spurs. Stop falling off your horse. Yeah. All right. With that, gents, we're going to move over and do a short 2-round feast to close out the year as it brings us to the winter. There is a bit of news that comes about. There's talks of more Saxons somewhere to the east. The Irishmen are apparently swarming all of Cambria, all of Gales. And there's whispers of the Cornishmen down to the south beginning to prepare for a possibility of war for the Logris. Logris is being looked upon like prey to a series of predators, those that would have had no chance against it as long as Aurelius or Uther lived. But now that they're gone, it's prime for the picking, and many are taking opportunities. There's also whispers of raiders from every known place preparing for the possibility of a future invasion of Rome, or of Romano-Britain, of Britain, as we call it now. And with that, we're going to move to the feast. All the major NPCs from prior are here. And for you all, we start this, of course, with an app roll for each of you. Gwydir did return. We'll leave the what happened to him and stuff later. I'm not going to have him die off screen, though. So we'll figure out the rest later. I'll probably roll. This game comes equipped with like a, if you miss a session, it has something called solos that you can roll on to see like what were you doing while that was happening. So we'll probably get him to roll one of those live in front of us, or maybe not live. We'll figure it out, but we're gonna get him to roll one eventually. But everyone else is in fact present. So why don't we get each of you to give us some rolls?
I'm near the salt.
Is that a success from everybody?
I think
I
it is.
succeeded.
So,
I'm
Alex
not on the
succeeded.
floor.
Rune succeeded. Rain succeeded. Yes, that's a success for everyone. Holy. That's
The
a
dog
success for
knight
everyone.
is actually successful this time.
The night of the dog scraps, the table scraps.
Yeah.
I almost put you below the salt by default. My bad. Hold on, let me fix that.
Oh, I see how it is.
near the salt, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So I'll go through these names real quick to refresh my own memory, but we've got Finnegan here. That's the boy's temporary, or not temporary, but like his name, because he doesn't know who he is. So that's the name that's been given to him.
Finnegan.
He's currently a foster of Cormac right now.
Yep.
We have Sir Cadrigan, the royal bouncer. That's this
I thought
guy.
Sir Ithel was the royal bouncer.
Oh, he is. My bad. See, that's why I needed to kind of go through this again. Sir Ithel is the royal bouncer. He was the one that was giving Gwydir the stank eyes when Gwydir was courting his daughter.
Yeah.
So you can see why Cormac was making fun of Gwydir. There is Saint Illtyd, a famous British Christian the very modest, so one wouldn't know. The Archbishop Dubricus is in fact up here. If you're a Roman Christian, he is the Archbishop. Big deal. There's Sir Elaine, who is the Royal Constable. He's one of the few names we actually have prepared here. I'll make sure I get everyone else on this. Methonwy is the sire of Callus, right? And he was, what was his position? Was he the forester or the sheriff? What was he?
I want to say
was-
forester.
I think it was the forester.
He's the royal huntsman.
Yeah, the
Huntsman.
Okay,
huntsman.
yeah, the huntsman.
Orlandus was the forester.
Forester. Yeah, that's right. And then Cadogan
And
is what again? Cadogan
Castellan
was.
of Cardiff.
Oh yeah, he's a castellan. So this guy is a castellan of a nearby castle and town, Cardiff. Thonwy is the royal huntsman, so he looks after any royal hunts that Nanteleod's up to. He would participate in, and that is more or less the royal court as we know it. We will make sure that in the following years, like we start to bring in some families. I'm going to ask you guys more about your family members so we can see them more on screen. But for now, let's work with this. We're going to make this a 2-round feast.
So what are we having to eat?
Let's figure that out. Beef marrow fritters, followed by peacock, followed by mushroom tarts.
So it's a 3-round feast.
Oh, no, it's just courses. So if it's 2 rounds, it's just over 2. Yeah. It's always
Okay.
3. It's always 3 feast items. It's just they're spread over the time, but it's only a 2-round feast.
Okay then.
We will start with Callus. We'll go left to right.
All right.
Reminder of your potential actions. You can be indulgent and get drank. You can do the opposite of that and be temperate and maybe get bit. Both are seen as like good things for someone to do at a feast. Is like drink and be merry, or be super temperate and make sure everyone else is having a good time. Be an ultimate like guest, right? That's one option. You can game. You can intrigue and look for gossip. You can flirt, which is always a good option when you're unmarried and don't have any heirs in this game. You can help me out. Am I missing anything, guys? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, you can pull cards. You can pull a card. That is the fun, random, what's behind, door number 2 option. You pull that card. At this level of glory, you're bound to that card. So whatever you pull, you're stuck with. But it can be pretty fun too. It creates all kinds of stuff. So,
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I think Sir Callus would probably try to flirt. After being knighted, I think he's like, okay, now what next do I need to do to sort of, I guess, raise my status, I guess. So he'd probably be like, I should definitely start to look for a wife. So he'd probably start to flirt.
Okay.
Right.
Any particular target, or we're just gonna see who we end up with?
I don't think I have a target.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd probably just see who gets. All right, come on. Nope.
Oh, so close too.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Teleri, and she is from a neighboring region. So she would be in Logris. Teleri of Linden. Interesting. So she's a North girl. Her father is a sworn sword to Nanteleod.
Okay.
Something about her. Oh, there we go. She's suspicious 16. So she's like, she thinks you're up to something. She
And she hates people.
She
Yeah.
Yeah.
hate people. What a bunch of bastards. She does hate a people. It's not going to be Kimrick, but I don't think it's going to play into what's going on here. If she's in there, she hates the Saxons. So you give her an ear for a moment, and the flirting quickly turns into her venting about the Saxons. And it's the worst vibe killer in the world. It's just, she spends 20 minutes talking about how awful the Saxons are.
Well, I
you-
do have a passion of hate Saxons as well.
Oh. You know what?
Might be something to bond
If you
over.
choose to trigger that now, I'll allow you a reroll on the flirting.
I will.
You want to impassion yourself with Saxons? Is her talk driving the passion in you?
It is a 13. It's not super high. It's a 13.
Let's give
But
it a test.
yeah. All right. And then that's just a flat roll, correct?
Flat roll. You bet. All right, you get a +5 to your flirting reattempt.
Oh. Flirting. 5. Nope.
Oh. This is almost the thing where it's like, you're almost like, it's nice to talk to someone who understands it like me, one of those kind of things, I think. And it's almost like you realize in that moment that she didn't even, like, she was just venting. She didn't care who the audience was. And she looks up at you like, oh, your name again, Sir Knight? And you're just like, oh, seriously? Like, yeah. So I will give you a tick on hate Saxons. And I'm just going to step away for 2 seconds to go let the cat out. Then it's Cormac's turn. It's Rain's turn. So Rain, think about what you want to do here when I get back.
Because I didn't get to last time at the feast. I'm drawing cards, man.
Although
Cards?
you do get what's it called? For being near the salt.
Yes.
A geniality.
Geniality.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
So
Translates over to glory for you.
at the end of the feast, it translates over to glory. But during the feast, what it does is it gives you a plus your geniality to certain rolls.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's on every roll during a feast.
It's courtly actions. Yeah. So orate
Alice
and
has 1.
Yeah.
Geniality
Thanks.
for being near the salt.
Thanks for noting that. All right.
And that happens after the first round, right? Yeah.
Yeah, after your action, you get that.
Right.
So if someone else triggers an action, if you pull a card that's like everyone sings and Callus gets to sing, here you get a +1 to that sing.
Yeah, and Rain is drawing a feast card because I have yet to be able to do that in this game.
Give her, man. Let's see what happens.
Hell yeah.
Emergency.
All right. A guest sitting next to you begins to choke on a piece of food.
All right.
You got this.
Anything
no,
you
I
want
don't know it.
Do you want to impassion yourself with something?
Let me see what I got. This could be
It
comical.
works so well for Rain. I don't know why, or for Callus. Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on who it is. It's a guest next to me, so
You don't know if he's super important or not.
that's true.
Oh, Callus, you did fumble. Give me a 3d6 roll, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Would hospitality apply to impassion with? Or would honor be better?
Either would work in this moment because you are part of a court, and it's also a knight.
Okay, I failed, so I didn't impassion.
Impassion. Oh, but you got a 16. You're famous in it, so that is a -5 to the roll.
Yep. So this is gonna be bad. This is why I like feast cards.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right. First aid minus
And
5.
while you're doing that, Collis, you gain a one-sided amour, which is like having a thing for Lady Teleri of
Alright.
Linden. So,
And I failed.
all right. So another knight assists with the choking feaster
And get-
and gets all the credit.
Yep.
So you get 1 for the card and you get -1 for the -1 geniality, but you do
And
get
then 1 from action me done. Yeah.
1, yeah. So you get a net total of +1 geniality.
Yep.
Some people give you that good try pat on the back. Yeah, it was a good try.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go next to Cormac.
Cormac's always his first thing that he does. Every feast is, I'm gonna make sure everyone else is taken care of before I take anything.
Temperate it
So,
is.
so I think I'm gonna go temperate right quick.
Damn.
And I succeed.
That's what I
Alright.
was going to do. I'm not going to do it now, though.
You have the ability potentially for those that haven't played. If you crit on temperate, you can get like noticed by the. So if you're, especially if you're visiting like a foreign court and you're lucky enough to crit, that means that like the host recognizes you and what you're doing. Like, wow, look at this guy like looking after everyone. So Cormac, in this case, with a regular thing, it's like the knights around you are very appreciative of your sacrifice in your time, and you're like over there helping the servants and stuff. Like, here, I'll get that for you. So,
Yeah, that's my lots in life. It's not a lot, but it's my life.
make sure you tick that, and you get 2 geniality for that.
Oh, nice.
All right, now we move to Rune's very first
Shit.
ever action.
I
Now
have
you've seen the
no
full weight
idea.
of what the cards can deliver for you, so you're going in a little more eyes wide open.
Yeah, well, I'm like heavily tempted to like draw one of these cards now.
Do it.
They're super
Do it.
fun. They don't always work
Um,
out, but they're fun usually.
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So, like, do I?
Worst, I'll
hover
tell
over
you the
this
worst
thing?
that can happen. The worst that can happen is you get removed from the feast.
Oh well,
Yep.
shit. We don't want that. So like, I hover over this thing and do a draw, right?
Yeah, you should be able to just pull it,
You should be able to drag it.
drag and drop. Yeah,
Drop it where?
On
just
the
anywhere
size.
on the map.
Wherever.
Yeah. There you go.
Biggest mistake? I don't like how that sounds.
Here
Oh.
we go. Come on.
Where is it? Okay, there we go. Biggest mistake. Several knights talk merrily about their greatest gaffes. Oh, they ask you to share your biggest mistake.
Oh,
Sometimes it's worth testing the role and then coming up with a narrative, because the role might like if you fumble it, it might. I literally, by the way, in one of my other games, this card led to a villain NPC for the entirety of the first campaign I ran. So, the one who mocked him turned out to be someone that was in the rest of the entire storyline. So, you can choose if you're probably bad at orate, because most characters inherently are. If you
I
are
am.
bad at orate, you can always try to impassion yourself. If you use a famous passion and you fumble, then that's bad. That's really bad. If you just fail a famous passion, so 16 or greater passion, it's a -5. You're melancholic for a little while. But if you succeed, you get a +5. If you choose a passion that's under 16, there's less threat. And you can see that down here. There's a little table. You want to see what those impassions look like.
okay, damn. And again, fuck. That's really small. Let me. Boop, boop, boop. So fuck, it's crap, and I can impassion myself, which means
+5 to the roll.
If
I
you
can
pass.
passion
Impassioned
myself,
is +10, and inspired is +5. You
and I
just
can
have to roll which of your passions you believe is going to get you there.
Okay, so what do I have that might not fuck me up?
Drax, give me a d6 roll, please.
My biggest mistake.
You're
I,
melancholic for 3 days. You lose 1 point of your passion, but you gain 25 glory.
Okay.
I,
That is rain.
I have I can't I won't let I'm completely lost here, guys.
Okay, it's all good. What is the passion you think would make the most sense for this?
For a
If
biggest
this
mistake,
if this isn't something you care a lot about, don't impassion. Just roll it and whatever the outcome is. But if it's something your character would have a lot of pride towards or like have a lot of desire to do, then you can always trigger you can try to impassion yourself for a bonus. At a risk, of course. As seen by Rain right now. So
what I'm thinking is right. Like, if it's like I could go like. I was at this like small feast, or perhaps like I was at this tavern, and instead of going the temperate way, which I'm famously temperate, I just indulged in everything.
oh, a
Does
drunk
that make sense?
story. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you want to roll orate by itself, or do you want to try and impassion yourself first?
yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll impassion myself and then I'll roll or rate.
Okay. What are you impassioning with? What makes sense for you?
Um, fuck.
You want to go like
I
hospitality or this drunk story? Is this just being honest or honor because you're telling the truth? Like, what do you want to do here?
I'll
Love
do.
family because it's your
Yeah.
family
Family
came to your
story.
Your
rescue,
family came to your
or
rescue. Yeah, like
Yeah,
what
one
do
of
you
my
want?
one of my brothers like stopped me. Yeah, I kind of like the little family thing.
Okay. Why don't you test that?
Okay, little family, just flat.
Okay, you succeed, so now you get a +5 modifier to orate. It's orate test.
Just +5 or rate. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see.
Oh, that's just
One of.
dirty. Yeah. Okay, so people start calling you like the equivalent of like a lightweight, right? They're like one of the young like pages is laying on the ground because they're like too young and tired. They're like, oh, look at that, it's so rude. Too many drinks, you know. Um, please test proud for me.
Proud. Oh
You
God.
did do love family, so you can do a -5 to this proud test if you want.
a +5 if you want.
Yeah, if you wanna
Yeah, if you
add
want
to
to
it.
beat someone up.
I'm famously modest. I can do -5 or +5. Let's say
You
like
want to
that.
go into a duel?
Let's say that this is the one moment that he forsakes his modesty. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
No,
Oh,
you did not.
He succeeds proud.
Yeah.
So you tick proud, and this knight, his name is Sir Justin of Escavalon. Cruel, it makes sense. Um, you end up he's an older guy, right? And you end up how do you want to play this out? You want to role play this for a sec because it's a duel, like how the not we're gonna do the duel later, but do you want to role play like the little slight? He's like, oh, he's like points at one of the kids. He's like, look at that, it must be Sir Rune over there, the lightweight.
I am not a lightweight. I'm just not used to drinking this much.
Oh, he says, like I said, a lightweight, and there's like some people snicker. Yeah.
It is not my fault that I would prefer to drink than to be with my wife.
They all laugh at that. And now I think your pride's kicking in now. Because they're laughing at you, not with you. And then he says, picking up on that, I think Jessen says, she can't be all that bad. I was just with her last night.
Is that so? I believe I had received a letter. What was your wife's name again?
Okay. I think rather than this playing out like a game of words, I think in this one your pride kicks in. So normally this would be like a battling of words, but in this moment whatever he does, he strikes a chord with you, and you're the one to challenge to the duel.
Okay.
You challenge him. Do you want to narrate that part, or do you want to just kind of move past that part?
I'd say that Rowan, which is like very uncharacteristically for him. Is that the word?
Uncharacteristic.
He stands up from the table, motions towards this Sir Justin, and beats his chest and goes like, meet me in the yard at so and so hour.
Okay. He looks at you unnervously and he says, "All right, first blood then."
First blood.
Okay, and so we have a scheduled duel at the end of that. The card's worth 1. The failure doesn't take any geniality away, so you actually do end up with 2 despite that. So there you go. End up with 2 geniality for round 2 of the feast.
Round 2.
Fight. We're back with Callus for the last round here. Or the last round.
I think I'm gonna pull a card this time.
All right, give her.
He's queasy.
Okay, this is the type of card where you can potentially end up leaving the feast. How's your con score?
My con score is at a 13.
Ooh.
Good luck.
Don't puke on rain.
Alright.
So you get an option here. It does say you miss 1 round. You can choose to miss this round and just go get some fresh air, and then you avoid the risk of the failure.
Which might be the best alternative because
Yeah.
this is the last round.
Yeah, I think Sir Collis would be like, okay, this feast isn't really going that well for me. So I would think that Sir Collis would definitely go outside and get some fresh night air.
Awesome. We're going to go to Rain next. And you still get a geniality despite all that. So.
Yeah, I am melancholic, so
You
I
sure
am
are.
still gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna totally just pull a card again.
That's it.
Make it worse. Oh no. The
host passes by. Nanteleod passes by.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, you're melancholic. What bad luck.
Yeah.
To have the king speak to you while
my strongest passion, huh? Let's see.
What is your strong? Was it different? Was your strongest passion different a second ago before you got a -1 to it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, no. It was actually my second highest. It just dropped. So my love family is still my highest at 17.
Oh, okay. I got a cool piece for this.
Okay.
Nanteleod walks by and he says, like, it's almost like matter of fact that he's not like, he doesn't address himself formally to you because you guys are around each other so much as some of his household knights. He says, seeing the boy here now, I'm starting to regret the way I treated him when I first met him. If he is kin, I should be more mindful of such things. The kin that grow up together, they understand that inherently because they deal with the high times and the low times. But if he's kin of mine from some random surprise, he just has a loss for words at that point. And then we're gonna position over to you and give you the roll to see what you have to add for the love family here in this moment.
At a -5.
Oh,
Nothing.
oh, that would have been a success too.
Yeah.
Failure.
Yep. You and the host agree to disagree. -1 geniality.
So this is your melancholy coming out in a way that's
Yeah.
like normally you'd respond positively about family. What do you say in turn here?
Well, I mean, he's melancholic, so he's actually physically looking a little,
Yeah.
depressed, I suppose. And he's like, I'm not so certain I agree,
Hmm?
but I've been known to be wrong on more than one occasion. Things could change in the future, though, perhaps.
He looks at you and just raises a brow. He's like, perhaps you should go riding or something tomorrow.
And Sir Rain just nods to him.
We'll agree to disagree for now. All right, so that nets you at a grand total of one genealogy for the. Wait, hold on. Host passerby is worth 1. You get -1, so you do end up with a second genealogy.
Yeah, I still get a second one. Yeah.
Okay.
I got lucky on that.
All right, that brings us to Cormac. I see our rolls are killing it for this.
I mean, I'm loving the feast cards.
Yeah.
Great.
Cormac.
All right. So, I've been temperate.
Feast card time.
I do want to pull a feast card.
Just let me know
I
what
think
you
I'm
want to
gonna
do,
pull a
my
feast
man.
card.
Yeah, okay. Generous toast.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Killed it.
So I
Maybe
move
this
up
has to
one.
do with the kid. I
Yeah,
think maybe he
probably.
invites you and Finnegan up to sit above the table. That sounds about right given the way the last card went, right? Sometimes you can start to string these cards together and they start to tell a story, right? So do that. He says, Nanteleod says, Sir Cormac, Finnegan, was it? I'd be honored if you would
I'm
join me
relieved.
at the high seat.
Of course, of course, my liege. Thank you. Yeah, I'm honored.
All right. Maybe we'll leave it as simple as that. I think it tells its own story. Cormac, you're gonna finish that round at the top, so it's worth 2. Then the card is worth 2. Where did all your geniality didn't come with you?
Look at that.
You just banked right there, and then you get
Bang.
there is no roll or anything, so that's what you end up with. The grand total.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we close her out with Rune.
I mean, I kind of want to put another card. See what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Oh, I suck at flirting. Fuck.
Well,
Yourself.
let me tell you, you do have some geniality now.
Yeah.
So you get a +2, and you could attempt to impassion yourself, or you could avoid it, seeing how bad it backfired for Rain.
Okay, so I could attempt to impassion myself. I do have a +2.
You cannot. The only rule we have for feast in battle is you can't impassion yourself with the same passion a second time. So you have
Okay,
to find
so I did do, what was the last one?
family, right? Did you do family?
I think so.
Yeah.
Fuck. Let's do hospitality.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I rolled hospitality. Let's see what happens.
Yep. We start there, and you
So
really don't want a 20. That's the worst case scenario.
I really don't want a 20. Let's see.
There you go.
Okay.
Success. Right now, you get a +5 to this roll.
+5 to flirting.
Yeah. Let's see who it is. To Owena.
Plus the 2 from your geniality as well.
So +7.
Can't be that.
7 total, yeah.
+7. This is gonna be bad. Okay.
50-50.
Let's see.
Oh.
Man.
As close as it could have been.
Let's see what her app score is. Since I rolled Fairy Encounter first, I'm just gonna give her a natural +10 to her app. 22 app.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, so
She pretty.
so I need you to test chaste for me here in this moment.
I'm fairly chaste. Just flat chaste.
Just flat chaste, yeah. Okay. You're not left with no more of this lady. But Owena is beautiful. A local we're gonna make her from Kyndon. So Owena. And yeah. So there were some attempts towards marriage. None of them worked, but we at least have attempts towards them. And then we have a pretty good feast. I think that was entertaining. I hope you guys had a good time. When we pick back up next time, we're in the year 497. Of course, Trent will be back with us, and we'll see about Scully, or if we'll be recruiting for player number 6. But I hope you guys are having fun still. Wergar and Yampa, you guys are new. How are you feeling this so far? You liking the vibe?
Yeah, I'm liking it a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Honestly, I'm digging it.
And our returns from other games, Bert and Drax, you guys having a good time with this?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
typical
yeah.
feasting for me. Love it.
Excellent.
That
That's
was fun.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right, guys.
Rune ends this round with 3 geniality, right?
Well, thank you for pointing
Yep.
that out. Yep.
And are we doing Winterface stuff?
Not on
Yet, or-
not today. Probably what we'll do for winter phase is we'll set something up so that we have a good means of doing so before the next session.
Okay.
We'll talk about, because we want Trent to be there too. Either Trent can guide you guys through it, or I will, or something of the sort. I think it'd be fun to, you know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll do our first winter phase together. I think it might be fun on camera. And then from there, we'll go to the off-camera ones. So anyways, guys, thanks for playing, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
All
thanks for
right.
having me.
All right.
In late winter's grasp, Saxons stormed south through Logres, catching off-guard garrisons. And the city of St. Albans near London they did conquer. Prince Regent Maddock by ailing father's side called muster, yet much of Logres lay ensnared by occupation. The marshlands did bear great raids, Cambrian mountain men's onslaught, losses heavy. Glevum, with heart bereaved, did mourn Duke Eldol's fall. A sundering war brewed. Duke's daughter Lady Helly of Glevum, and grandson Sir Challenge of Clarence poised to clash. Under Earl Roderick's banners, Salisbury, Summerland, Silchester journeyed to muster, ambushed by Eosa on Path's way. Eosa fell, yet reinforcements delayed, crippling their advance. St. Albans, a prize won on a fateful day, the feeble King Uther, Excalibur grasped, rode forth to join his son's battle. Octa's forces faltered, yet a venomous feast poisoned victory's cup. Prince Madoc, felled by Syagrius, echoes of Franklin's past. Lone Duke Ulfius endured, his heir Ufo shouldered the legacy. In Salisbury, the somber cloak of mortality draped itself upon Earl Roderick, as his health dwindled to a whisper, and in passing, his title and domain passed to the hands of fledgling heirs. Yet in the hinterlands of Britain, a change whispered through the woods and fields. The verdant embrace of nature crept forth, reclaiming roads once traversed by foot and hoof, as paths blurred into trails. The realm of Tribuit, a realm oft forgotten, neared oblivion within the embrace of the titanic woodland, the great forest sauvage. And it is told that many a wondrous sight doth greet those who tread through Summerlin's domain. Merlin's presence whispered through London's air, a sword encased in stone, spoke of a destined king, a riddle inscribed upon its ancient surface. Cornwall's King Idris stirred, rising an army as Tintagel's fate trembled once more. Shadowy lands of Tintagel, Escavalon, and Gigant held within his gaze. King Uther rests twixt kin Aurelius and Madoc in the giant's dance. Escavalon's Nanteleod brought word of tribute wars in South Cambria. Merchant's tale spoke of Cerdic's yearning. Vortigern's son sought father's mantle. Logres, once a great kingdom, is left to lick its wounds.